I never believed those stories about dark web cults were real until I saw one with my own eyes, and it changed everything I thought I knew about fear. It started when I moved to Prague for my postgraduate research in psychology, where my thesis revolved around digital behavior and secret online communities, and one night, while reading about cult psychology, I came across a strange thread on an old hidden forum. It wasn't on any normal site, it was part of something deeper, something people called The Garden Behind the Gate. I thought it was poetic, but when I clicked the link, I realized it was a whole separate network of archives, rituals, and encrypted conversations. The homepage was plain black, with only one phrase written across the center. The Circle of Nine welcomes its witness. At first, I thought it was art or performance, maybe one of those underground experiments Europeans are known for, but curiosity has always been my weakness, so I followed the clues. I found a person selling access credentials to a live stream called The Witness Room. They didn't ask for money, just data exchange. I should have stopped there, but I didn't. When the stream finally opened, it wasn't what I expected. There was no chat, no usernames, just a dimly lit European hall with tall marble columns and 9 people wearing wooden masks, each carved with a different expression of agony. They stood around a restrained figure tied to an iron frame in the middle of the circle. The hall looked centuries old, the kind you find in old monasteries or abandoned palaces, and the air around them shimmered with heat from burning candles. Then the chanting began. It wasn't Latin exactly, but something older, deeper, like a forgotten dialect of pain. The sound made my bones feel hollow. One of them stepped forward with a chalice, pouring a dark liquid over the trembling person, whose muffled cries echoed through the room. I wanted to close the stream, but I just sat there frozen. Every sound, every motion felt too real. It wasn't theater, it was a ritual. When they finished, the camera moved on its own, as if someone knew I was watching, and zoomed toward a wall inscription showing a sigil. A ring of light intersected by a shadow line. That symbol, I later discovered, belonged to a medieval sect called Lux Umbra, the light of shadow, believers that true enlightenment could only be reached by extinguishing another's soul. When I finally closed the stream, I thought it was over. But the next morning, an email arrived. No sender, no signature, just a photograph of that same hall, now empty, and the words, "You witnessed, now you are seen." That single line erased every rational thought I had. Somehow, they knew who I was, even though I'd used fake credentials. I changed my accounts, deleted everything, stopped using my laptop at night, but it didn't matter. Strange things began to happen. A white feather on my windowsill every morning. Latin phrases painted on the walls near my building. Candles arranged in a circle at my doorstep. I started waking up at 3:03 a.m. each night, the exact time the stream had begun. Then, one day, I found a small wooden mask on my desk, identical to the ones from the ritual. No one had entered my apartment, yet there it was with a parchment beneath it saying, "Next gathering, you stand in the circle." My knees nearly gave out. I went to the police, showed them everything, but they dismissed it as paranoia. A week later, my classmate Lucas disappeared. His phone was found smashed near a church, a single feather beside it. That was when I knew they had taken him. I left Prague immediately, moved south toward Austria, changed my name, deleted my identity online. For almost 2 years, I stayed off the grid. I thought time would dissolve what I'd seen. But last winter, in a market near Salzburg, I saw the same sigil carved on a wooden box. The vendor, an old man with glassy eyes, said calmly, "The circle never ends. It just waits for the witness to return." That night, I found a red-sealed letter under my door. Inside, it read, "Lux Umbra rises in the north." Below it, coordinates pointed to Lapland. I burned it, but the wax seal turned black and left a mark that wouldn't fade. Since then, I keep waking up to faint bells in the distance, though there's no church for miles. I realize now that I was never just a viewer, I was initiated the moment I clicked that link. The circle doesn't recruit, it selects, and once you've seen them, they follow you through silence, through symbols, through the corners of your mind. Sometimes, when the world feels too still, I open my browser again and type, "The Garden Behind the Gate." Most nights, nothing happens. But once, the screen flashed white, and I saw 9 silhouettes standing around an empty chair. They're still waiting. I think they always were. So if you ever find a page titled The Circle of 9, promising light, truth, or transcendence, don't open it. Because the moment you do, they'll open you instead, and you'll understand, as I did, that the dark web's real horror isn't digital. It's ancient, living, and it sees you long before you ever see it.